who the script, who the person was. It was Lewis Grizzard. Okay, ready? Happy St. Patrick's Day from Jubilee! When Irish eyes are smiling, and we hope you're smiling today, we are going to start our Jubilee sermon with the handsome and funny Bob. Bob, you take it away, Bob.
I think you're wrong on both counts. But what kind of exercises do the lazy people do?
What?
Diddly squat. So where can you get gas for $2?
Where?
Taco Bell.
Woo!
and of course, by now you've heard the rumor about Miracle Whip, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard the rumor about Miracle Whip?
No, we haven't.
Well, I'm not going to spread it.
Oh, okay, Bob. Thanks for spreading your humor, Bob. Okay. All right, we're going to start off with yellow. It's always an interesting experience at Jubilee. You never know what you're doing or who's here, but we are here in live Sunshine Delusions. Bruce Clark, Leslie Gilroy, and Keith Edwards Sr. We rock the stage.
This is a song everybody can relate to right now.
Yes.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and all the things you do. Yeah, they were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you, and all the things you do. And it was called Yellow. I took a turn for you. Oh, what a thing to do. And it was all yellow. And your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bone turn into something beautiful. Don't you know? You know.
Love you so.
You know I love you so. I swam across, I jumped across for you. Oh, what a thing to do. And it was all yellow. I drew a line for you. Oh, what a thing to do. And it was all yellow. And your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. And don't you know, for you I'd bleed myself dry. For you I bleed myself trying. For you, for you, for you. It's true. Look how they shine for you. Look how they shine for you. Look how how they shine for you. Look at the stars, look how they shine for you. And all the things you do.
Certainly a lot of yellow pollen out there today.
That's why I sing it.
Okay, we are going to introduce
First time we ever did that.
the most lavishing man I know, Lee McEachin. Wow. Boyo. Thank you.
Bueo.
My anonymous name on Facebook is Lee Bueo, which stands for Beloved We Are One, by the way.
Ooh,
That's
I
right.
like that. Okay,
How convenient.
But let's not talk about me, let's talk about Jubilee. Jubilee Circle is an interfaith spiritual community offering inspiration, affirmation, healing, creative arts, music, and service to live abundantly, love wastefully, and awaken to our higher divine self. This is our Sunday meeting that we meet here at 6729 Two Knots Road every Sunday at 11:15. But there's a division of Jubilee Circle that we call JC's Living Room. And JC's Living Room has a rich history that stretches back over a decade. We have this beautiful space. We wanted to have events with music and arts, and so now we have JC's Living Room. It's a group of individuals who recognize that change is vital to growth, and thus we welcome change even when it's hard. That growth always comes with a healthy dose of humor and laughter. And one of the main sounds heard at Jubilee Circle and JC's Living Room gatherings as we celebrate our unity in mind and spirit. It's a community of open-minded folks who are willing to explore truths and positive messages from Christianity, Hindu, Buddhism, and other traditions. Our community is rooted in creativity and spirituality, blending art techniques and crafts with meditation and practices to provide a variety of unique and enriching experiences. Our inclusive environment encourages self-expression, creativity, and spiritual growth, offering something for everyone. Also, every Wednesday, we have a Course in Miracles group. Sometimes it meets in person here. Lately, we've been doing a Zoom meeting, and you can go to jc'slivingroom.com and get a link to that Zoom meeting, Wednesdays at 7:30. So it's we call it one of our enrichment discussions. Our enrichment discussions are a much-attended event for anyone looking to explore deep topics like near-death experiences and the intersection of God, science, and romance, and even something as practical as recycling these discussions as recycling. In these discussions, we encourage open-minded conversations that will challenge the way you see the world. And so I think we've got one more song, and then I'm going to do a little mini discussion group for the sermon, so-called sermon. It'll be like a Course in Miracles Sunday school. So we are going to do that after the next song. And come on, band. Assume. We have one more song.
And we are all wondering what it will be. We hope you're having a St. Patrick's Day. If you're not wearing green, Justin, I see no green on you today. You're going to get pinched over there. Better watch it. No, he's
fine.
He's part of the Protestant Irish. Okay.
And my underwear has green on. Your teeth do too. I don't have any hoodie on.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's really going to get pinched, Justin.
All right,
Okay.
6, 1, half dozen of flip
All right,
a
what are
coin.
we
Which
doing?
song are we
What are
gonna
we
do?
doing?
Okay.
Famous last words. Okay. Soak up the sun. Is that what you're doing? Or are you doing
we may as
I
well do
release?
that. Let's do that.
Or you want to do I release at the end? All right. We will. Okay, bear with me on this one. Cheryl, this is for you. I'm trying.
My friend the communist holds meetings in his RV. I can't afford his gas, so I'm stuck in watching TV. I don't have digital, I don't have diddly squad. It's not having what you want, it's wanting what you've got. I'm gonna soak up the sun, gonna tell everyone to lighten up. But every time I feel lame, I'm looking up. I'm gonna soak up the sun.
Gonna soak up the sun.
I've got a crummy job. It don't pay near enough to buy the things it takes to win me some of your love. Every time I turn around, I'm looking up, you're looking down. Maybe something's wrong with you that makes you
act the way you do.
I'm gonna soak up the sun, gonna tell everyone to lighten up.
I'm gonna tell them that
I've got no one to blame, but every time I feel lame, I'm looking up. I'm gonna soak up the sun while it's still free. Gonna soak up the sun before it goes down on me. Don't have a master suite, I'm still the king of me. You ride, but baby, I'm the one who has the key. Every time I turn around,
I'm looking up, you're looking down. Maybe something's wrong with you that makes you act the way you do.
Maybe I'm crazy too. I'm gonna soak up the sun, gonna tell everyone to lighten up.
I'm gonna tell them that
I've got no one to blame, for every time I feel lame, I'm looking up.
I'm gonna
Soak up the sun, gonna soak up the sun, gonna tell everyone to lighten up. I got no one to blame. Every time I feel lame, I'm looking up. I'm gonna soak up the sun. Got my 45 on, so I can rock on.
rock on. Everybody got your 45 on? What is a 45, Bruce?
A record,
Oh,
a 7-inch
who
record,
knew? Okay.
and sometimes a 12-inch record.
Okay. All right. So now it's Lee's
Thanks,
turn.
y'all.
We'll be back.
We got two more songs. Sorry, Lee.
Are you good? Great. Thank you. So we do lots of things at Jubilee Circle and JC's living room. One of the things is talk about A Course in Miracles on Wednesdays. That's just one part of it. Actually, my favorite part, because I love A Course in Miracles. And so what I'm going to do is, first of all, what is A Course in Miracles? Here's a book. It came out in the mid-'70s. It's a channeled book. Helen Schuckman had it channeled by a voice, and she wrote it down, and that's what happened.
What's
Called
par
Course
for
in
the Course of Miracles?
Hmm?
What's par?
What's par for miracles?
Yeah, you wear a golf outfit.
Okay. This is a par 3 miracle lesson.
Oh,
It's going to be simple and easy.
I've got green on if you look at it.
So what we do on Wednesdays is meet and talk, and the course is like 3 books in one. The first part is called the text. It's like a regular book with chapters called the text. The middle part is the lessons. There are 365 lessons, one for each day of the year. Since it's leap year, you can pick one day or the other right now. But and then the last part is called Manual Miracles. Jumped off the shelf and into my arms. That's how it just went. Whoop.
He was in love with you.
Very
Yeah.
common experience.
Quite like that, but it was close because on that day I bought a few books. I picked up 2 or 3 books, spent about $80, and the course was one of them. I didn't know anything about any of the books. I've never done that before or since. So it's really strange. But that's how I found the course. I picked it up, read a sentence, and said, okay, it's like a $50 book. And I don't do that, but I did it that day. Weird. So
Lee, you're not saying you're cheap, are you?
I am cheap, and I don't know why I spent that much money on this book, but I did.
Cheap day, too.
Yeah. All right, to say it resonated with me is an understatement. I couldn't put it down. It's really 3 books in one, and you're supposed to read 1 lesson a day. Well, I read the whole book front to back in about 2 months, and then I did it again. And the course is like a book that you can read 10 times, and well, the 10th time you get new meaning for a word or a sentence or a paragraph or a chapter. It just keeps peeling back like an onion. It's like that. All right, I read it cover to cover. Let me see, that was in '96, and I'm still reading it today. Help lead this little study group on Wednesdays. So what is the appeal of A Course in Miracles? For me, it helps me answer the questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? And why? And let's cut to the chase and answer the questions. So who am I? Well, I'm infinite love. You know, that's what I am. That's what you are too. And what are you doing here? And what we are doing here is learning how to remove the barriers to love. You know, we are like an onion covered up, and if you peel back all the layers, there's infinite love. And so that's what we're doing here, is learning how to remove the barriers to love. It's already there. You just got to remove the barriers so that you can see it and feel it and hear it and know it. And the last one is why. You know, why? And in the course it says, because I forgot to laugh. And I'm going to read that little part about that. It's one of my favorite sentences, paragraphs. All right. It says, this is from chapter 27 in the first part of the course. It says, let us return the dream he gave away unto the dreamer, who perceives the dream as separate from himself and done to him. Into eternity, where all is one, there crept a tiny, mad idea, not to laugh, not to laugh. In his forgetting, did the thought become a serious idea, impossible of both, impossible of 2 things. It's possible for, you know, you're like in this oneness of infinite love, and you go, who am I? And then it opens Pandora's box. And you forgot to laugh at the stuff that cocks, and here you are now. So don't forget to laugh. It's very important.
Especially when I tell a joke.
That's right. Especially.
Yes, be sure to laugh.
so as you would have it, today's lesson, which I'm going to read just real short, today's lesson is entitled, I Am Entitled to Miracles. And so what we do on Wednesdays is we take turns reading. Everybody reads a couple of paragraphs at a time. I'm just gonna read me, myself, and I up here, and
You're not alone.
I'm just gonna read lesson 77. So it says, "You are entitled to miracles because of what you are. You will receive miracles because of what God is, and you will offer miracles because you are one with God." Again, how simple is salvation? It is merely a statement of your true identity. It is this that we will celebrate today. Well, this is one of the daily lessons, so it tells you kind of what to think about during the day at different times. It says, begin the longer practice periods by telling yourself quite confidently that you are entitled to miracles. Closing your eyes, remind yourself that you are asking only for what is rightfully yours. So we can do that now. Close our eyes and say, I am entitled to miracles.
I'm entitled to miracles.
Okay. Closing your eyes. All right. Remind yourself also that miracles are never taken away from one and given to another. And that in asking for your rights, you are upholding the rights of everyone. It's not a thing where, well, if I got a miracle, you don't have it. Nope. It's not like that. You uphold the rights of everyone. Miracles do not obey the laws of this world. They merely follow from the laws of God. After this brief introductory phase, wait quietly for the assurance that your request is granted. You have asked for the salvation of the world, and for your own, you have requested that you be given the means by which this is accomplished. You cannot fail to be assured in this. You are but asking what the will of God be done. Asking that the will of God be done. In doing this, you do not really ask for anything. It's like the onion. It's already there. You state a fact that cannot be denied. The Holy Spirit cannot but assure you that your request is granted. The fact that you accepted must be so. There is no room for doubt and uncertainty today. We are asking a real question at last. The answer is a simple statement of a simple fact. You will receive the assurance that you seek. Our shorter period, our short, just in between a traffic stoplight or something, I am entitled to miracles, you know. You're eating your breakfast cereal, I'm entitled to miracles. You're out driving around in the sunshine, walking around, playing with the dogs, say, I am entitled to miracles. And then ask for them whenever a situation arises in which they are called for. You will, and so that might be a good or bad situation. You will recognize these situations. And since you are not relying on yourself to find the miracle, you are fully entitled to receive it whenever you ask. Remember, too, not to be satisfied with the answer. Be quick to tell yourself, should you be tempted, I will not trade miracles for grievances. I want only what belongs to me. God has established miracles as my right. So, one more time. I am entitled to miracles. All right. That's today's lesson. And so, when we're having our little meeting, and like I said, we normally will have taken turns, everybody reading a couple of paragraphs apiece, and we stop and we talk and we say, well, gosh, well, you know, I was at a traffic light and I thought of that and, you know, it made me feel good. Or, you know, however, you know, you might have a question or you might just, it's a discussion group and it's a group thing. You know, I just kind of don't really stand up there and preach like I'm doing now. We're just in a circle talking.
Yes.
And so what I do next is look at the other section of the book. That was in the lessons. Now let's pick something that's related to that topic in the first part, in the text. And so I actually searched on the word miracle, and I found a chapter in chapter 30, so chapter 8 called, the chapter 30 is called The New Beginning, 8 is called Changeless Reality. And so think of the ego is the changeless thing. It's like the infinite love that's of onion. It's the changeless reality, and that's the title of this chapter. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's only It's just a couple of pages, but I'm still just going to read some highlights from it. So here we go. Appearances deceive, but can be changed. Reality is changeless. It does not deceive at all. And if you fail to see beyond appearances, you are deceived. For everything you see will change, and yet you thought it real before, and now you think it real again. Reality is thus reduced to form and capable of change. Reality is changeless. It is this that makes it real and keeps it separate from all appearances. It must transcend all form to be itself. It cannot change. The miracle is a means to demonstrate that all appearances can change because they are appearances and cannot have the changelessness reality entails. The miracle attests salvation from appearances by showing they can change. Your brother has a changelessness in him beyond appearance and deception. Both. It is obscured by changing views of him that you perceive as his reality. So this puts the ball in your court when you're thinking about someone else. The happy dream about your brother takes the form of the appearance of his perfect health, his perfect freedom from all forms of lack, and safety from disaster of all kinds. The miracle is proof he is not bound by loss or suffering in any form, because it can so easily be changed. So it kind of looks past those layers and it says, well, I'm infinite love, he's infinite love, she is infinite love, and that's changeless. This demonstrates that it was never real and could not stem from his reality. For that, his reality is changeless and has no effects that anything in heaven or on earth could ever alter. But appearances are shown to be unreal because they change. It says, you have established limits. What you ask is given you, but not of God, who knows no limits. You have limited yourself. Reality is changeless. Miracles but show what you have interposed between reality and your awareness is unreal and does not interfere at all. Reality is changeless. There's a miracle already there to heal all things that change. So you're in this changing state, but you're really changeless. And so when you tap into that changeless state, you're healed, you know. It says, because reality is changeless, there's a miracle already there to heal all things that change and offer them to you to see in happy form devoid of fear. It will be given you to look upon your brother thus, but not while you would have it otherwise in some respects. So it's all or nothing. You've got to say, I'm peeling all the layers of the onion off. It's all infinite love or nothing. For this but means you would not have him healed and whole if you don't do it all. The Christ in him is perfect. Is it this that you would look upon? Then let there be no dreams about him that you would prefer to see in this. It's like you choose how you judge a person, and you see him as the Christ in him is perfect. You will see the Christ in him because you will see the Christ in him because you let him come to you, him with a capital H. And when he, with a capital H, has appeared to you, you will be certain you are like him, for he is the changeless in your brother and in you. So it redefines the Christ as a changeless, an example of changeless infinite love. And when you see that in another, you can see it in yourself. This you will look upon when you decide there is not one appearance you would hold in place of what your brother really is. Let no temptation to prefer a dream allow uncertainty to enter here. Be not made guilty and afraid when you are tempted by a dream of what he is. But do not give it power to replace the changeless in him, in your sight of him. There is no false appearance but will fade if you request a miracle instead. So it's almost like you're looking at something, you request a miracle, and then you see things differently. And that is the miracle. There is no pain for which he is not free if you would have him be but what he is. Why should you fear to see the Christ in him? You but behold yourself in what you see. As he is healed, are you made free of guilt? For his appearance is your own to you. So it's a big thing. We call it the boomerang effect in A Course in Miracles, where you look at someone and you say, oh man, that person's terrible. And then you change your mind and you say, oh, that person's an example of infinite love. And then it hits you on the back of your head that I'm infinite love. Well, you had to see it in someone else first. It's kind of like you have faith, and then when it hits you on the back of your head, you know it. And it repeats that thing I call the boomerang effect over and over in A Course in Miracles. So it's neat how it's not a book where you study and at the end I'm enlightened. No, and at the end you look at your brother differently. And then you feel differently about yourself because you looked at everybody out there differently. And so I'm going to wrap it up with reading a little bit from the back book. So remember, the first part is text, second part is lessons, the third part is manual for teachers, and in there is called clarification of terms, and it has one little chapter called the ego dash the miracle. And so it compares the miracle to the ego. And it's interesting because it pretty much says, well, you'll see it, but it says it's one or the other. You know, what's the ego? What's the miracle? Well, they're opposite. And so, you know, whatever the miracle is what the ego is not. And what the ego is the miracle is not. So it's an interesting way of looking at the ego and the miracle. So it says, illusions will not last. Their death is sure, and this alone is certain in their world. It is the ego's world because of this. What is the ego? But a dream of what you really are, a thought you are apart from your creator, and a wish to be what he created not. It is a thing, this is the ego. It is a thing of madness, not reality at all. A name for namelessness is all it is. A symbol of impossibility, a choice for options that do not exist. We name it, but to help us understand that it is nothing but an ancient thought that what is made has immortality. But what could come of this except a dream, which, like all dreams, can only end in death? What is the ego? Nothingness, but in a form, it seems like something. In a world of form, the ego cannot be denied, for it alone seems real. Yet could God's Son, as he created him, abide in form or in a world of form? Who asked you to define the ego and explain how it arose? Can be but he who thinks it real and seeks by definition to ensure that its elusive nature is concealed behind the words that seem to make it so. There is no definition for a lie that serves to make it true, nor can there be a truth that lies conceal effectively. The ego's unreality is not denied by words, nor is its meaning clear because its nature seems to have a form. Who can define the undefinable? And yet there is an answer even here. We cannot really make a definition for what the ego is, but we can say what it is not. And this is shown to us with perfect clarity. It is from this that we deduce all that the ego is. Look at its opposite, and you can see the only answer that is meaningful. The ego's opposite in every way, in origin, effect, and consequence, we call a miracle. And here we find all that is not the ego in this world. Here is the ego's opposite, and here alone we look on what the ego was. For here we see all that it seemed to do, and cause and its effects must still be one. Where there was darkness, now we see the light. What is the ego? What the darkness was. Where is the ego? Where the darkness was. What is it now, and where can it be found? Nothing and nowhere. Now the light has come, its opposite has gone without a trace. Where evil was, there is now holiness. What is the ego? What the evil was. Where is the ego? Ego. It's in an evil dream that but seemed real while you were dreaming it. Where there was crucifixion, stand on. What is a miracle? A dream as well. But look at all the aspects of this dream, and you will never question anymore. Look at the kindly world you see extend before you as you walk in gentleness. Look at the helpers all along the way you travel, happy in the certainty of heaven and the surety of peace. And look an instant, too, on what you left behind at last and finally passed by. This was the ego, all the cruel hate, the need for vengeance, and the cries of pain, the fear of dying, and the urge to kill yourself. The miracle corrects as gently as a loving mother sings her child to rest. Is not a song like this what you would hear? Would be made to still God's voice, which asks of everyone one question only. Are you ready to help me save the world? Ask this instead of what the ego is, and you will see a sudden brightness cover up the world the ego made. No miracle is now withheld from anyone. The world is saved from what you thought it was, and what it is wholly uncondemned and wholly pure. The miracle forgives, the ego damns. Neither need be defined except by this. Yet could a definition be more sure or more in line with what salvation is? Problem and answer lie together here. And having met at last, the choice is clear. Who chooses hell when it is recognized? And who would not go on a little while when it is given him to understand the way is short and heaven is his goal? And so that is a mini lesson. At the end of the lesson, we also kind of open the book up and everybody just reads where their finger lands. And I'm going to...
Fickle finger of fate.
That's right. And this one says, a couple of sentences. It says, love is not learned. Its meaning lies within itself. And learning ends when you have recognized all it is not. That is the interference, and that is what needs to be undone. Love is not learned because there never was a time in which you knew it not. So that's a happy thought. Love is not learned because there never was a time in which you knew it not. So it can have layers, onion layers on top of onion layers. You might think you forgot it, but it's back there, might be buried, but you're still hooked to it, and it's hooked to you because you are infinite love, and so am I. That's it. Thank you very much. Now I think we have another song.
Yes.
And we'll wrap it up. Thank you.
Another couple of songs, maybe.
Come on.
Are there any announcements?
No, I can't find the bulletin.
They already did? Oh, okay. So we don't have to worry about that.
Love songs.
We all deserve miracles, especially on St. Patrick's Day. So be sure to drink a green beer for me
For you?
and for Bruce and for Keith and for everybody in the room. What are you doing? Oh. Release. I release and I let go. My heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart's open wide. Yes, I'm only
for God.
No
more struggle, no more strife.
With the faith I see
See the light.
I am
Free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
No, I'm only here for Bob. Oh, okay.
We're only here for Bob.
Woo!
Yeah, we're only here for Bob.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? That little. Woo! We're going to close shop. Well, unless Lise has something. We're going to
And-
close shop with the fave song that everybody should know.
And the
by now.
reminder that if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, it will be enough.
Amen. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side. We all walk together with hearts and arms open wide. We make way by walking in love. We will abide. The path is always open. No traveler is denied. So open up your heart. Forget those tears you cried. We all walk together, hand in hand, side by side.